Hey guys, I'm Colin Bazil and I'm going to enlighten you on the beautiful art forms of parkour and freerunning. So, what is it? The word parkour originates from the French word parcours, meaning the path or the way through. Parcours was originally used by the French forces called Parcours du combattant, or the path of the warrior. These guys used parkours and the concept of parkour to overcome obstacles and get from point A to point B as efficiently as possible. David Bell, a son of one of these warriors, turned the C into a K and gave us the concept of parkour as a sport that we have today. True parkour is getting from point A to point B as efficiently and quickly as possible. Around the same time David Bell was developing parkour, a group called the Yamakasi created freerunning. Freerunning is flips and spins and gymnastic movements taken out of a gym setting and into the wild and nature and urban settings, like this here picnic table. Adding freerunning to parkour gave us a level of creativity that we wouldn't have had before. It opened up the world to our imaginations as the limit, giving us the ability to take any basic object and be creative with our movement on that object or over a set series of objects. And parkour and freerunning today is exactly that, getting from point A to point B as efficiently or creatively as possible. So, in this video, I'm going to teach and demonstrate a few basic parkour movements that you could learn easily that might actually benefit you throughout your lifetime. I'm also going to show and demonstrate a few basic parkour exercises and conditioning movements that I personally use to train and strengthen for this sport. These exercises are great because they're healthy, they work all parts of your body. They're body weight movements, so you can do them anywhere without the need of equipment or a gym. Even if you have no interest in learning parkour and you're here only for the exercise, just skip in the video right here to this time and that'll bring you right to the introduction of the exercises. Alright, the first step to a precision is keeping your feet close together. Second step, you're going to want to spot your landing. Figure out exactly where you're going to land, which is there. With your feet close together, you're going to want to bring your hands behind you, bend your knees. At the same time you push up with your legs, you're going to want to throw your hands forward and lean forward with your chest. When you're jumping, you're going to want to shoot for more of an arch form rather than just straight over. Alright, let me demonstrate one on something like a flat surface before we move on to a bigger jump between two objects. Basic sidewalk works. The cracks in the sidewalk can be our two lines of landing and starting. So we're going to start. Feet together, hands in front. We're going to bring our hands back and push. So, up, balls of our feet. Alright, now we're on two objects. Same steps. Feet close together, hands in front. You're going to bring them back and bend, forward and spring forward with your chest angled forward towards the object. Come down and land on the balls of your feet gently and bend. Alright, let's give it a shot. You may ask yourself, why do I even care? Why do I want to learn how to do a jump? Well, there's a lot of practical uses out there in the real world to use this. An example that comes to mind is if you're walking down the street on a rainy day and there's a big puddle in front of you, point A being one side of the puddle and point B being the other side of the puddle, it's not efficient to walk all the way around it. So if you know how to jump properly, you could probably jump from one side of the puddle to the other side and get there a lot faster than you would have walking around. In parkour, an obstacle that we face is walls or buildings, and to get down from that quickly from point A to point B as efficiently as possible would be to jump. And it's not really safe to jump from 10, 15, 20 feet because, you could break your legs or your back or hurt yourself pretty badly. There's actually a way to jump from heights like that safely, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. What you should know is that a parkour roll does not go straight forward. This is because if you go straight forward really fast, you have the risk of putting your head into the ground, which could cause some pretty bad neck injuries, and you don't want to do that. The parkour roll goes across your back, starting from one shoulder, going across your back to the opposite hip. This is done to keep your neck, or your head and your neck safe and out of harm's way. When you jump off of something, and for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use the ground. You're going to want to jump and land at a little bit of an angle with whatever shoulder you decide is the most comfortable. I prefer my left shoulder. Come down, land at a little bit of an angle with your body leaning a bit forward. You don't want to land straight up because then you're going to have to land and then kind of bend into it, and that's not good for your knees. So come into it with a little bit of an angle forward, so you jump off, say, a picnic table or a flight of stairs or whatever you need to. With a little bit of a forward angle, drop onto your hands at a little bit of an angle. Drop one elbow, whatever shoulder you're going to go over your shoulder and across your back to the opposite hip. So we'll do this a little bit quicker so you can see. Take the jump, feet, shoulder, hip, roll. Exactly that. Alright, on top of the wall, I'm going to drop and do a normal parkour roll to show you that it's really practical. So that may look really dangerous and really scary, but the roll that I did out of that absorbed a majority of the impact. This technique really works. You could use this for anything from maybe jumping off of the back of a flatbed truck or trying to get down from a wall, whatever you need to. It's just something good to know and something good to know how to do if you ever need to get off of something high.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
Alright guys, let's get started with our first exercise. This is called the quadrupedal walk. It sounds kind of complicated, but it's super easy. Let's demonstrate this movement. Super simple. Just get on all fours. Keep your legs bent to about 90 degrees. Keep your head up. Keep your back as level to the ground as you can make it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just keep it somewhat level. When you walk, alternate your hands and feet. So if you're gonna move your right hand, move your left leg. Move your left hand, move your right leg. If you do this for about, 50 feet or until you get tired, it'll work really well. It works your arms, works your core, works your legs, works your chest. It's a really all-around great exercise for just body weight movement. All right guys, our second exercise is called the butt scoot. Sounds dumb, but it works really, really well. It's pretty simple. You sit down on the ground, keep your legs flat with the ground, put your arms down about halfway down the length of your thigh. You're gonna basically wanna push up, get your body off the ground, keeping your legs level, that way working your abs, holding your legs up, and scooting your body forward just a couple inches. All right, so I'm gonna do a couple from the side so you can see how it looks. So there you go, that's the butt scoop. I would recommend doing that about 20 to 25 feet or so. If you want to do more than that, be my guest. But I think that's a good amount of distance to start with. It is a great exercise. It looks weird, but it works really well. So let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, for the third exercise, it's actually two movements that I just combined into one exercise because they're so similar that it's not worth making two separate exercises out of it. The first is the broad jump. It's basically starting at one point, finding another point out in the distance, 60 feet, 70 feet out, and doing a series of broad jumps or precision jumps from your point to the end point, all in a row. Basically looks like this, Pretty simple, not hard. Second movement is the height jump. Same thing as a broad jump, only it's height. It just literally standing in a fixed position and jumping vertically as high as you can using that arm technique I taught you in the precision tutorial a little earlier in the video. Throwing your arms up into the air, trying to lift yourself off the ground as high as you can. Pretty simple, I'll do a couple. Pretty simple. For the fourth and final exercise that I'm going to show you, it's the basic standard pull-up. It's easy, it's standard, you should all know how to do it. The reason it's in this video is because it's one of the only bodyweight exercises that you can do outside that mimics the same movement of pulling up a wall when you're climbing a wall in parkour, obviously. So yeah, pretty standard. For demonstration purposes, I'm doing this outside on a branch to show you that you could find a branch too. I have a pull-up bar inside and all that, but I figured I'd use a branch to do it the old-fashioned way. So pretty standard. You just grab a branch, you hang from it, you pull yourself up, get to your chin, go back down. Chin, down. Chin, down. Simple, right? Piece of cake. You do as many of those as you think you're fit with. Go until you get tired. Yeah, pretty simple. Alright, so for those of you who can't do a real pull-up, I'm going to show you a great alternative that you can use. It's a little easier, but it works the same muscle groups. Go outside, find a lower branch, just like this one. This one's a little difficult because it's at an angle. Try to find one that's as level as you can find. Basically, you're going to want to get underneath the branch like this. Keep your heels on the ground, keep your body straight. Lower yourself and pull up to your chest. Alright, so that pretty much sums it up. I showed you a couple parkour movements and a few basic exercises and conditioning movements that I use to strengthen and train for my sports. For those of you who don't know, this video is part of my senior project. My senior project was to inform the community about the benefits of parkour and show my general area and people living in it that parkour is not dumb and dangerous and reckless like the majority of people stereotype it to be. It's an active sport and I love it to death, which is the reason why I based my entire senior year project around parkour and free running. So my email is thecbpk@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, want to learn more, want some more information, want me to go in a greater depth into one of the movements or into a different movement entirely, please feel free, email me. I'll respond to you, I promise. Again, my name is Colin Bazil. I'm a WFPF affiliate athlete. Like, comment, subscribe, go check out my videos, and train safe.